Yo, what is up, guys? It's Pedro here. So we got a little bit of bad news, kind of the first Washington football team news. The Broncos are giving former Washington football team cornerback Ronald Darby a 3-year deal. We'll talk about that in today's video. So if you guys are new, make sure to subscribe for Washington and NFL content, and make sure you guys turn on your post notifications so you never miss a video. So let's get right into it. So, Ronald Darby, bringing him back was one of my biggest priorities. I don't think it's the end of the day. It's the end of the world. But I still would have liked to get a deal done with him. And 3 years, $30 million was a little, was about what I expected. I was expecting a little under 10, but I was still willing to give up $10 million per year for Ronald Darby. I know some people wouldn't, and some people are fine with Darby, or fine with, getting rid of him. But if you look at his stats this year, he had a pretty good year. He allowed a 54% completion percentage, only allowed one touchdown on the year, and allowed an 81 passer rating. The only issue with Darby, besides this season he had a good year, but the years before, he's never before this year played in 16 games. So I think that's part of the issue, and maybe Washington didn't want to bring him back for that price. It's about $19.5 million in guaranteed money. So it's a lot of guaranteed money. The Broncos, if you're a Broncos fan, Darby this year was matched up against a lot of the number one, wide receivers, like against Amari Cooper. He didn't do great against Amari Cooper, but he had a pretty solid year. I thought he was probably our best corner, between him and Kendall Fuller. Kendall Fuller started off the year really, really great, but held off at the end of the year. Darby was consistent for the most part, didn't get any interceptions, but had a lot of pass breakups, and had a really good year. Definitely played better than his contract was for this past year. Now Washington, our secondary we got to address it with Ronald Darby leaving. We have a huge hole at cornerback, and I expect us, and I hope we go after someone like William Jackson from the Bengals, who I personally, and I said this before this news came out, that I'd rather have William Jackson than Ronald Darby. That's just me. I think William Jackson is a better corner, and he's closer to a number one corner than Ronald Darby. I think he could kind of be the James Bradbury of this year. I'm honestly willing to pay, since now Darby is off the table, I'm willing to pay a little bit more than Darby got for William Jackson. I think he's that good, and I think he's going to be a really good corner. Shaquille Griffin is another cornerback option. He's a younger option. And then Patrick Peterson is an older option. I probably wouldn't go after him just because of his age, but Patrick Peterson is definitely an option as well. But again, it's disappointing. He's a DMV guy. He wanted to be back. I don't know how much Washington offered him, but this seems to be very similar to the Eric Flowers situation last year. Almost all the beat reporters, everyone was saying that he was probably going to be back, and then Washington wasn't willing to pay. I think it was like $10 million per year that he got with the Dolphins, and he was let go. And we'll see how Darby plays. And I think if you're a Broncos fan, as long as Darby stays healthy, which is a big if you look at 2017 to 2019, if he stays healthy, I think this is a good deal for Darby. And I think he's still young, 26 years old. It is a little bit disappointing, guys, that we could not lock him up. I mean, the biggest priorities this offseason so far, I know it's only one day through free agency. We didn't lock up Brandon Sheriff long term, which before the offseason started, that's something we wanted to do. Same thing with Darby, and we haven't signed anyone yet. We'll see if that changes in the next few hours/days, but I really wanted to bring Darby back. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys wanted to bring back Darby and how much were you willing to pay him. Maybe they were willing to pay him 3 years, $30 million, but maybe they just weren't willing to pay him $19.5 million guaranteed, because that is a lot. That's $20 million guaranteed, and you pretty much, you can't really get out of that until the third year, pretty much. So I think Darby did pretty well in this deal. Getting $20 million guaranteed is really, really good, or close to $20 million. And like I said, Washington has to go after a cornerback now, and because Kendall Fuller is a solid cornerback, but he's nowhere near, in my opinion, a cornerback one, and he's, he plays on the outside, but I think he's more of a slot corner. So the need to get an outside corner, maybe William Jackson is that guy. He still hasn't gotten paid. Really, I think Darby's the first corner this offseason today that got paid. So there's still a lot of corners available. And, if we can't get someone, a big name in the next few days, or not even a big name, but a solid name, a solid veteran, look out for in the draft, maybe possibly in the first round, second round this year after Darby leaves. I think it's one of our biggest needs. And yeah, we'll see what happens, guys. Make sure you guys stay tuned, because even in the next couple hours, minutes, we could see Washington make a deal. Some players that, they could have been interested in that are gone now. Jonnu Smith got signed, maybe Nelson Aguilar, they liked him. He's off the table, but there's still a lot of receivers left, a lot of tight ends left, and Washington still has a bunch of money now, especially with Ronald Darby not re-signing. We have a lot of money to spend. Got to spend it on cornerback and a receiver, in my opinion, and maybe a tight end or a linebacker. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please smash that like button, subscribe if you guys are new, and turn on those post notifications so you never miss a video. I will keep you guys updated. Peace.